Welcome to our Vault Shorts. These are shorter episodes highlighting programs and resources here in our Billings community.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast.
Where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
To share their stories, expertise, industry insights, and strategies.
And we are sharing them all with you every single week.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center offers free personalized support from business plans to financial projections and beyond, empowering small businesses to thrive. Reach out to us at bigskyeconomicdevelopment.org.
We're really excited today to have TrailNet joining us on The Vault. So welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for coming on. For those unfamiliar with TrailNet, let's just start right in.
And give us who you are, too, just because we have two.
We have two Kristys, so this is going to be confusing.
So it's confusing yet convenient.
Yeah.
If you forget.
And to further the confusion, let's start with TrailNet, because there are two of those two. There's Billings TrailNet and then there's TrailNet. So make sure if you Google us, you Google Billings TrailNet, because if you go to trailnet.org, you'll go to someplace in Missouri.
How interesting.
People in Missouri always cramping our style.
Truly.
We were actually the copiers. When we decided to change from BikeNet to TrailNet, because it's great. It's a great transition,
Absolutely.
BikeNet, TrailNet. We found out at the last minute that there was a TrailNet.
You're like, we're doing it anyways.
Billings TrailNet then. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's
Billings
that.
TrailNet. Yeah. So Kristy, tell us a little bit.
And there's Kristi Drake and then there's Kristi Halderman. So that's even further confusion.
And Kristi Drake is the one that just was speaking, for those that aren't familiar.
I'm Kristi Drake. I'm the executive director of Billings TrailNet, and I've been with the organization since 2008 when I started as a tap puller. And then
I'm curious of what that means.
That is. What is that is? What is that? That's where my brain is today.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Sorry. I was
Trails for trails.
Got
baby.
it. Yeah. I was like, is this like a trail thing that Kayla and I don't understand?
Yeah, no. Have you ever heard of Ales for Trails?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's where I started, and then somebody put me on the board of directors, and I went, what's this
They're like, you're really good at
organization
this.
Yeah, tap puller to board pipeline.
Yeah, I
it
guess
can happen
they really
for you.
needed people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm on the board now. So started going to meetings and then fell in love with the organization because I came from Winnemucca, Nevada, where I was like the only runner in the whole town because there was 10,000 of us.
Say that name again.
Winnemucca. Isn't that fun to say? Say it out loud with me now.
Winnemucca.
That's right.
It's outside Reno, right?
Yeah. It's really close to Reno. So so I got to Billings and I found this community of runners and bicyclists. I'm like, yes.
I found my people. Yes.
And people and theaters and things to do. And so I felt like I'd gone to like Oz or something. Anyway.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
the wonderful place.
So, I joined the board of directors. Then I quit after I had a full-time job. I was going to graduate school. And then they needed a full-time staff person after a couple of years. So I put my name in the hat and got the job as the executive director, and I've been that since 2012. Since then, we went from 12 members of the organization to almost 2,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and our goal is to get like 10,000 members of Billings TrailNet.
Totally doable.
Because so much of what we do is advocacy and going to city council and county commissioners and all the elected officials and saying, hey, we've got all these members of Billings TrailNet who have actually paid money to be a member and are expecting us to advocate on their behalf, and people really want trails. So that's what's so important about membership. So if your listeners would like to be a member.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about what that since you're talking about it, what does that membership entail?
Yeah. Tell a little more about TrailNet too, because I think we kind of just...
Yeah,
we talked about ales for trails.
Yeah, who doesn't know, right? So Billings TrailNet's been around since about 1994. It was started by some of people in the planning department who of the city of Billings, who they needed a source of funding for matching funds for these big giant grants that they were applying for to build this trail system that they called the Bike Net Plan, and so they got some community members together who shared a vision. They went down to Boulder, Colorado, and Fort Collins, and they kind of envisioned a trail system off of that. Came back, created this Bike Net Plan, started applying for federal funding, needed a purse that they could just use for the matching dollars, and they couldn't just go and find matching funds after they got the grant. They had to have those matching funds in order to be eligible to get the grant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started Ales for Trails, and that was the first big fundraiser, and that started in the year 2000. And just
I guess
off.
I didn't realize it's been gone for so long.
A long time, yeah. So that just took off. It's just started raising money from the beginning. Now, 24 years later, we've raised almost $2 million.
Wow.
Yes.
And how fun that it's 2000, so it's like always super easy to remember.
Yes,
Exactly.
Exactly. So, and so that money has now gone back to the trail system. We've given almost $1 million back to the trail system. So we've got some money in the bank, and we've got, we can put our money where our mouth is. Since then, people have asked us to, be more of an advocacy organization also, not just fundraising, because and we can do that because we can put our money where our mouth is and say, hey, we've got 2,000 members, we've got money to back it up, and here's this trail, we can give you this much, but the community really wants it. Hey, City Council, would you pass some funding to, make this trail work? Like the Stagecoach Trail, which is one of those things that we've been really pushing for. It would get people off of Zimmerman Trail and onto a trail next to, because I don't know if you've ever driven or ridden
No,
a
I have
bike.
not ridden a bike.
I have not done a bike on there.
That would not be safe for either of us. I would happily say that. Our tandem bike would not do well, but we've been driven it.
We're good at the tandem bike,
Yeah.
but we have not taken it down
All right.
Zimmerman.
No.
Yeah.
What's really fun is riding down it. It's so much fun. You can go 35 miles an hour down that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
if that's
can't even go down that in a car at that speed.
It's not
fast.
advised for the faint of heart.
Maybe a little more practice.
Okay.
Or heal your elbow first.
I'll take the roller
How did
skates
you
down.
do it anyway? Not on a
Roller
bike.
skating.
Oh,
story for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
so anyway, the newly developed Skyline Trail, that was one of our champion projects. We gave $380,000 to that.
It's a beautiful trail.
It helped the city be eligible for a $3 million grant.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's that kind of thing that we've been doing for the past 1994 to 2024. How many years is that?
30.
Thank you.
Even.
Oh, yeah, for those that were born in 94. Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do
You're
weird
30.
math, but so, yeah.
I had to
I'm
go,
not.
how old am I?
How old am I? What does that mean?
Are
Right.
you 30?
Not yet. Close. But so tell us, that's a lot. How many miles of trails have you been part of since you've been with the organization?
Well, the city of Billings has 55 miles of trails. Now, some of those have been developed by just the city of Billings engineering. Some of them were before our time, but I know that there's 10 or 12 different trails that we were a part of that we have given money to.
Wow.
Awesome.
I don't know how many miles that is, but yeah.
Wow. And then you changed the name from
Bike Net, because when
which
I
seems
started,
like we understand why, but talk us through that a little bit.
yeah. Okay. So I was, newly executive director, and I remember I was kind of talking up BikeNet at the time with
Which is funny to hear. I've never heard it.
I've never heard it because I've only ever known it.
Because I don't know if we would have been in Billings at that point.
Nope, I wasn't here.
So, I'm going around new executive director talking to different groups, and I heard over and over, I'm not a bicyclist. And I'm like, but you know what? There's a lot of people on trails that aren't bicyclists. And then I hear bike trails. I'm like, now it just makes me cringe because so many people, actually, the city has done a survey. We've done surveys. We know that there are more people who use the trails on foot, with their dogs, running, on rollerblades or skates, hopefully not falling. But, there are twice as many people, pedestrians, as there are bicyclists. And so we didn't want people to think that we were a bike club.
Yeah,
and
kind
that's
of
what I heard, bike club.
Narrow vision yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the chamber really backed it too. They said, you really need to rebrand. And so we said, yeah, we know we do. So we did a lot of surveying, a lot of thinking about it. The board decided on Billings TrailNet because it's just more, inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just encompasses more what you guys, what you do.
Yeah.
So Kristy, tell us a little bit about you and when
this
you
is
joined.
Kristy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other Kristy.
So other Kristy, tell us when
Other
did you
is her
join?
first name.
Yeah.
When I joined
The organization.
Sure, about 6 months ago. It was actually here at Rock 31, to be honest. It was a bit of a serendipitous meeting because I had moved to Billings officially in 2021. Ales for Trails was one of my first events that I had come to in the city.
Just as a guest.
As a guest.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And just curious, so coming new out of town, how did you hear about it? And what prompted you to be like, oh, I totally want to go to that?
It was a friend of a friend, and then my now husband, but boyfriend at the time, he had heard of it, and he just said, hey, yeah, let's go, because this newly found friend that I met at the dog park
said,
hey, yeah, our dogs became buds, and then we exchanged numbers, and she was new to town too, so she said, hey, you want to come to this? We're all going to this event. I go, okay, cool. And so we showed up, and that was one of my first events after I had moved here, and had a great time, continued to go as a guest for every year after that. And then that same friend, when this position or my current position became available, they forwarded it to me. And I had just started another position elsewhere. And I said, well, that's kind of soon to apply for a new job. I don't know. And then I was talking about it with Katie at Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Because she's a friend. And Kristi overheard me. And she goes, so that's my organization. Can I butt in and can we chat about it? And I go, oh. I said, sure. And then, yeah, exactly. And then we had our
hashtag no shame.
And we actually had our interview right here. We were sitting exactly in these positions. And yeah, and she just said,
circle.
I want to hire you. And I go, cool, I want to work there. So
What a full circle
and that was
moment.
6-7 months ago. So I haven't been with the organization terribly long, not since, 2008, but it's definitely been a fun, unique experience. I've learned a lot. I never worked for a nonprofit before, so that was interesting too. Or I should say it has been interesting, but I think in terms of applicable perspective, it brings new things to the table when you try new things. I understand why people will stay in the same career because you become an expert in your field, but I would say don't be afraid to try something new because your knowledge and experience can be applied to any position that you do, whether that's starting a business, whether that's jumping to corporate, whether that's jumping to nonprofit sector, things like that. It's just really, it's really been cool.
And you never know where your passion's going to fall.
Exactly.
And so, I totally believe in that.
Although
and
now
it's so rewarding to
For
work for
sure.
a nonprofit when people are, I'm on a trail and I get people, seeing me if they recognize me or
I think you're very
stop.
recognizable in the community.
yes.
And I'll stop and say, hi, I see you're using the trail. Can I take your picture? Because, I'm always trying to promote and everything in there. And they're, like people in wheelchairs are really like the biggest reward when I see somebody in a wheelchair and like one older gentleman like kissed my hand when I thought we were going to shake hands and he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not responsible for all these trails. I'm not, but he was just so grateful because he said, you know,
It's accessible.
It's accessible. It lets me get out, you know, and I'm not, you know, somebody, I don't have to be with somebody to pick me up and drop me off. I can just go out my door and ride for miles and be in the fresh air. I was like, wow,
and see the beauty
so
of Montana,
rewarding.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, is so great.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned it a few different times. You have a membership. So
Yeah.
what does a membership at TrailNet like provide?
Billings TrailNet.
Billings TrailNet. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
See, I just know it as TrailNet
I
here,
know.
so I gotta get it in my brain.
Yeah.
Billings TrailNet.
Billings TrailNet membership. So you get, we're doing membership events, you know, frequently throughout the year. You get, Kristi, can you help me out here?
I can. Well, we're also in the process of revamping the program. I mean, so it's just Kristi and I as full-time employees. And as you know, again, when we're talking about relatable experience, before I moved here, I did have a small business.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, you had your own business.
I did. And there was just the two of us. And there's been a lot of relatable experiences to my current position and working with Kristi. And you're basically always doing something all of the time, and you can't always get to everything. So right now, because Ales for Trails we're in the heat of finalizing everything for that. But we do have things that we're looking forward to working on, you know, come, I guess, next weekend.
So our brains are a little fried right now with Ales for Trails prep.
Right. But what I was getting at is we're looking to kind of revamp or just enhance our current membership program. So if you join up, you do receive, we send you a letter and we say thank you.
Well, and the membership
Get a little
appreciation
sticker.
event is huge.
It's a really
you
big
get a free
thing.
glass of wine at Yellowstone Cellars.
Ooh.
And
That's
it's just a great place to rub elbows and
having
just be together.
having very cool exclusive events, and you're able to really network because the community, we have a great community, and it's kind of like when you know one person, they'll introduce you to somebody else, and you'll never know who you're going to meet at something. And a lot of our membership or members, they are very involved and prominent members of our community. So there's that opportunity too. If you're looking to be a new member or you're new to town, we're looking to enhance the program just so that we're also including our corporate members and having benefit or additional benefits for retailers or for other people that are giving us. We want to give back to them and involve our members too. So it's just a really big collection of everybody helping everybody out.
In fact, the base camp is having a parking lot, like a little cookout.
Hootenanny, yeah.
For our members. And so all of our members get, I think, a 20% discount and
That's
some
cool.
freebies and swag and everything. And this is going to be October 4th. And then they're also extending for anybody who signs up as a member that night. Then they get other freebies and things like that.
That's really
so
cool.
we've got, so there's things like that going on throughout the year.
So what does a membership cost?
It's $25 and it's a
Is that
lifetime
annual?
membership.
Oh.
But we do ask, we're going to bug you like every year. Hey, could you please,
Totally. Well, that's what
make your donation because
Giving
we
back
didn't-
is
it's giving back is really important. And the membership program also helps us like with operations because Ales for Trails is our one big event a year. And so we needed to, kind of diversify our income so that we can actually continue operating. And so membership helps with, any other expenses and it's something that we can count on throughout the year.
Well, and it's so affordable, right?
$25.
Yeah.
Well, and I
that's not
think
bad at
corporate
all.
wise, we know in the work that we do, like talent retention is huge for organizations, and quality of life is like one of those top factors of why people stay or move. And the trails are a huge part of that, and access to the outdoors and access to outdoor recreation. And I think that that's like such a great way to give back into
And
that
that's-
effort of an organization that's doing that work every single day.
Yeah.
And that's
Thank
a
you.
huge, thanks. And that's a huge push too. I think we talk about it a lot, and I know I've had personal conversations with folks in the community or other people within the chamber or whatnot, where we live in a place where it's a huge healthcare corridor, and we service such a large area of just people. I mean, geographically.
Yeah, over
And
600, like 500,000-600,000.
Exactly. And you're looking at a place where people move to Montana to recreate. They want the fresh air. They want the great outdoors. And you have to make it, I'm not saying we're competing with every other town in Montana or out west, but there has been kind of this push for a lot of folks that are moving out west because they want that good quality of life. And if we want to maintain the types of recruitment for organizations in healthcare, in other sectors, we have to make that recreating, we have to make it accessible. We want to make it good. And that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is having this really great trail network, or this really great trail system that people can move here and they automatically know where it is and they can use it.
Yeah.
So.
And Big Sky Economic Development is also a corporate member. We've got the chamber is a corporate member. So many of our, like the 2 hospitals are corporate members. So, they recognize the need for it. And they, when they're recruiting, they're taking people out on the trails. So,
yeah.
So tell us, we just talked about Stagecoach Trail, but like, what are some of those other ones? That
what projects do you got going on?
Skyline Trail is incredible, isn't it? Have you been up to the Skyline Trail?
So smooth.
So smooth for now. Yeah, right. Well, and that's the other thing is concrete. They did a lot of it in concrete, and it's a lot easier to maintain. And it, sometimes there's heaving, but that doesn't occur for a really long time. And pavement is less expensive, but more costly to maintain. So that's one of the things. But the Fifth Avenue corridor is another thing we're championing, and Big Sky Economic Development is another, is an organization that's really enthusiastic about that. And that's, getting us from essentially the YMCA along a corridor that's, the Fifth Avenue that doesn't really exist, but through the FIB tower.
Yep.
And then, or that area, and then all the way past the Yellowstone Art Museum and into the eBird, and kind of revitalizing the eBird and making that really vibrant and walkable.
And you're saying eBird, and we are going to explain that. That's Billings Industrial Revitalization District.
Excellent. Good job. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say there's no E. I thought you were about to say that.
The bird.
Oh, see, I have always
East Billings
talked about eBird.
Yeah.
It's always been eBird. So, but yes, there is technically no E anymore. It's just the bird.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But that's one of them.
Yeah.
So connectivity through the bird.
The bird. Okay, I'll have to remember.
I was just
bird
gonna
is
say.
a word.
That's so fun. I'm gonna have to remember that too.
Another really exciting one, and we just had a video made, which is I'm so excited, and we haven't
I'm
rolled
excited
it out
to see
that.
it.
Yeah, but it's the it would be the Yellow Jacket Trail is what we call it, and it would go from MSUB's Alterowitz Gym on that right side,
Yes.
up if you're going up Airport Road, all the way up to essentially the roundabout, and then kind of curving in and connecting with the trail that's up by Swords Park. So none of these are in the plans, but what we're doing, and if you noticed with the Stagecoach Trail, we did a video of that.
Yep.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you've
I
seen
remember
it.
that. Yep.
If you go to Stagecoach Trail, if you Google that, you'll see this video pop up. But it really helps the community envision what this could be. And while it's not designed and it might be something entirely different looking, it's something that people can actually think, oh, this could happen.
This could be really cool.
Yeah. And so we've raised like $200,000 for the Stagecoach Trail from doing videos like that, and really in helping the community envision it and getting the community involved and advocating for it. So we ask our members, hey, contact city council, tell them how important this is to you. So, things like that. So we've got 5 different trail projects that we're looking at, really trying to advocate for, and in different ways. Like some of them are creating a planning study, a feasibility study for the Yellow Jacket Trail, because, we know that if you've been on 27th Street and you've tried running or biking on the downhill side beyond the guardrail, it's really soft and there's really not a lot of room. And the organizations who are in charge of it, they don't really want to be putting any more hard impermeable surface there because of the runoff that can be can affect the homeowners, the property owners down below the hill. So, moving it to the right side is a good one.
And I think the visibility too of just the drivers, just it seems a little bit better if you're more on the north side of the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your involvement because I think it is there with a marathon loop?
Yes.
And what that would mean for Billings.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? I mean, just imagine. People just are all about that. So,
I would do at least a mile.
Oh, good.
I was like, are we going to do, I'm like, Kayla, don't sign us up to do, I will draw the line. Yes,
I'd be like, we're in, sign us up.
For a mile.
For like a golf cart driving with beverages.
We'll be the cheerleaders.
We could drive the shuttle if we end up doing, say we do a race or something.
Yeah.
You can.
I would drive something. I
Cool.
can't say I would
Okay.
run that much.
But couldn't you see? So if you've got it,
Just being honest.
it's actually 26.2 miles. Exactly. I've ridden it because I can ride anywhere pretty much. But if you just kind of start, let's say we start at Zimmerman Park. We go all the way down the Skyline Trail through Swords Park. That's all on trail, right?
Yep.
Then you go down the Boot Hill area, down
The tunnels.
then through the tunnel, and then down through Alkali Creek to the east. And then you go underneath Main Street underpass, and you connect with the Jim Dutcher Trail. You go down through Colson Park. It ends at Mystic Park, right where the KOA campground or the Yellowstone campground is. That is 100% trail. So that's like 10 miles of trail right there.
Wow.
10 to 16 if you go up Mary Street. But if you just head there. And then you have to get it on Belknap, and then you go down Garden Avenue. This is one of the parts that isn't a trail, which we'd love to connect. But and then there's starting to be trail built kind of on that frontage road by where all the new
Coca-Cola?
warehouses are.
Coca-Cola?
Warehouses are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The new ones.
yes, the new
not
ones.
that far.
Yep.
Yeah, the big
Off the-
distribution.
Right before like South Billings Boulevard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before Riverfront Park. So that's kind of in the works right now. And there is going to be trail there. So you see that segment that's between like Belknap and that trail by where the new storage units are. Then you get through Riverfront Park, which is, they'll connect, those trails will connect. We've got the trail through Riverfront Park. You can go through Norm's Island and then hook back up with Malawney.
Yep.
So through Josephine kind of area. From Malawney, you go a little bit south, and then you hook up with Elysian. You get to the end of Elysian, and that's where it stops again. And you're going to be needing to, right now you have to kind of go do some meandering, but then have to hook up with the frontage road. Then you go over the I-90 overpass where there is a trail. It's a 10-foot wide trail. MDT is going to extend that trail to Gable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then we've advocated to MDT to add a bike lane all the way to the zoo roundabout where Costco is. And then you just go around the roundabout and you tie into the Shiloh Trail. You go all the way up the Shiloh Trail to Rimrock, and then down Rimrock to Zimmerman. Then you're going to hook up with the Stagecoach Trail, go up that, back to Zimmerman.
Cool.
That's 26.2 miles.
Wow.
So you can see
There's just a little bit left.
so
really.
little left, isn't there?
Yeah.
A couple $1 million worth of trails.
But like comparatively to the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's really cool.
You're talking about really great projects.
Yes.
And you're really passionate people.
Can you tell?
Yes. So those listening, how can they get involved with Billings TrailNet? Where would they go to like hear about you, to find out? Is there a meeting?
Well, there's a big giant meeting happening on September 6th, and it's called Ales for Trails.
And tell us where that's at.
Zoo, Montana, and people can buy tickets at alesfortrails.com.
And what's that event entail? We've talked about it in multiple facets, but tell us, what does that evening entail?
You go for it, Kristi.
Yeah,
it's
Kristi. Kristi too. Essentially it's just a big party. I mean, it's best party in Billings. It's a big brew fest We have, we really want to highlight, because that's another thing when I moved to Montana, is that the beer here is great. And there's a lot of it, and there's a lot of different types of like microbreweries. And
See, we thought we were biased, but you're not from here, so
don't tell anybody. But I didn't grow up here, no. But the beer here is fantastic, and so we highlight the regional breweries that are here. We're going to have over 60 different varieties this year.
Wow.
You get your own little tasting cup, and you can go around. We were joking earlier. I don't know how many of those you can taste in one night. Responsibly, unless maybe you have a big tolerance. Maybe you are, maybe you can handle it. So
take little samples.
Take little tiny sips.
Drink
you can try all of them. Yeah, for sure. But
and don't bring your children.
Yeah,
nobody under 21 and up. Allowed. No babies in knapsacks.
21 and up. So big brew fest. There's repeat offenders is there. We have a concert essentially. So as the night goes on, at least this is my memory as a guest, is that as the night goes on and the more beers you try, the louder your singing gets along with the band, because they are a cover band. So you're listening to
you know the songs.
You know the songs, a lot of good tunes, and you sing them as loud as you want, truly. And then there's other activities like disco, giant beer pong. We have a raffle.
We love disco.
We do like disco, but there's disco mushrooms right over there.
Are you guys coming?
I think our team is.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
There's Big Sky teams there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Rock the bike. We've got a cocktail mixer bike.
Oh, cool.
Can I ride it?
Yes, you can ride it. Yes.
Kayla's like, I'll be there.
Yes. You'll be able to do that for sure.
Rock the bike. Don't rock the bike, baby. Rock the bike.
Tip the bike over.
Actually, we'll bring a little like amp, or we'll bring a little speaker and a microphone, and then you can just sing that on the
As you're
side.
pedaling.
As people get on it, you'll just have your little tunes.
I have my own speaker and my
Kayla's like, I have that in my car. It's packed.
No, it's a really great time, and it's also, it's a huge fundraiser. So not only is it a good time and you're hanging out with your friends at the zoo, you're drinking, you're listening to music, there's a bunch of food trucks there too.
Yum.
But it's directly benefiting the community and raising money for our trail system. So yeah,
That's
our
really
board
cool.
will be there. Our
How
board
big
of
is your
directors,
board?
It's 12.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we'll have a booth right at the check-in area, right when you get into the zoo. And you can ask our board members about, anything about Billings TrailNet. We'll have sign-up sheets there for if you want to get our newsletter, if you'd like to join a committee, if you're interested in the board, if you'd like to be a member, or if you'd like to buy a raffle ticket for one of 6 fabulous different prizes. Yeah. So that's one way to get more information. Also, billingstrailnet.org is a great way. You can sign up as a member. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can call us anytime. I mean, if we
super
get to
approachable,
have coffee,
both Kristies.
Stop down to Rock 31 that you guys are
Yes.
usually here.
Yeah,
we are here.
One of you is here.
Yeah.
At least one.
So tell us about, I know you guys do a few other events too, like the Tour
De Fleur.
Thank you for finishing that. I didn't know if I could do it.
Get ready for my trip to France, so I'm very French right
I love
now.
it. That's a country I haven't been yet. Well, through the airport, but I don't think that counts. But
You want to sound
have fun.
cool instead of we, say
Yeah.
way.
Way.
Yeah, way.
It's like, yeah.
But you guys do that. What's that event? I mean, I see beautiful photos of that every single year. Like, tell us about that event.
Okay, I'll let you know how it started a little bit and sort of the idea behind it. So I ride my bike everywhere. And I got into biking in Winnemucca when a friend of mine, a girlfriend, she said, hey, do you want to go mountain biking together? And I'm like, okay, what's this thing called bike? I hadn't been on one in 30 years. So she and I went mountain biking and I just fell in love with it. And then I started biking everywhere and I bought my own bike. And, then I was kind of a maniac. When I came here and I was working for Billings TrailNet, I went to a couple of women's organization, and I was asked to present, and I was telling them how to be a bicyclist and still look like a woman, and go to work. And somebody came up to me and she said, I'd really, really like to bike, but I'm terrified of riding in traffic. And it just, it kind of occurred to me that people, especially women, I think, need to, in my experience, women need to be kind of invited.
Yeah.
I mean, and not always. I mean, some people just pick it up by themselves. I don't mean to be like that, but just that nice invitation and, hey, girlfriend, let's go for a bike ride. Well, I don't have a bike. Well, no problem. I've got my husband's bike, or, something like that. So another committee member on our board had been talking about doing something with flowers and women. And so we kind of put those two things together. And so the premise of the Tour de Fleur, it started out with, let's invite women to bike. Let's make it an easy event so that women can not be intimidated by being on a bike. Let's make it beautiful. And so let's decorate our bikes with flowers and just, make it lovely. We got the Spoke Shop, which is one of our major corporate members, to provide bikes, because not everybody has a bike. And so, the the event blossomed into, really a great event. We get about 200 people who come, and then, over the years,
all on bikes.
Is a lot.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And then men, started saying, hey, what about me? And there was one guy who said, I'm doing this. I want a bike in honor of my wife who passed away from breast cancer. And so, and then children. And so now it's really an inclusive event. Mm-hmm. We've done it where it's just, a really short, like 1.5 miles. And then other women said, hey, I'm a bicyclist and I want to ride, but 1.5 miles is just too short. So then we made it a longer ride. So we've got a menu. You can choose 1.5 miles, you can choose 5 miles, or you can choose like 20 miles.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been kind of adjusting it to meet the needs of people. And we'd love to have people on our committee because, planning takes a lot.
It does.
Yes.
And we know that. Yeah.
we're 98% volunteer.
Wow.
2%.
2% staff.
I'm thinking that
staff.
Kayla and I should do the
Tour de Fleur with the tandem.
Tour de Fleur.
Kayla has a tandem bike and we're really good on it.
And we want to put a basket.
Who's the driver?
She has to. She has longer legs.
So we found, but then when she'll like her, it is. We're really good at it.
We
actually.
are.
We've only done it twice and we're very
Bring
good.
it on. Let's see it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get a basket.
I could also hook. I have a stroller that hooks to the back with my dogs.
A whole train.
There are people that do that. There is one person, I have videos of them on social. They have
blue and
their
orange
dogs.
flowers. Be really cute.
Oh, it'd be so cute.
Okay.
Let's totally do it.
Maybe not the pugs. I don't want to push us.
No, you know
but
what?
they're very cute.
They don't handle heat very well.
Oh, yeah.
And what time of
It's
year is
smushy
this?
faces.
It's in June. And
kind
it's
of like a summer kickoff. Yeah.
So it's not too hot, so you can bring your pugs.
Yeah, our Dina did it. She really had fun.
Yeah,
she had a great
pictures.
a great time. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of so this year it was kind of family. It was very family friendly. It was family focused, and we did have a lot of folks come out. And then for people that wanted to stay, we went to Levity and had a couple of drinks, and it was a really good time.
Levity's a good
That's
time.
really fun.
Oh,
Yes.
we have a best decorated bike contest. I think there were like 3 or 4 prizes, and so people, like to do it up. We had witches this last year. They were,
that would be cute.
They were very good.
They were so cute.
That's
that'd
really
be
fun.
cool.
So this year, if you didn't want to just be on the bike, you could be on the committee. I think after this past year, we want all the kids to have prizes, so we'll need to make sure that we are collecting all of them so all the kids can have
Oh, yeah.
a little
really fun.
takeaway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have
That's
to
so
get
fun.
like sports jogging suits in our colors.
Yeah, I'm down. The things we
Velour?
do.
Oh yeah.
Please, yes.
Velour's making a making and I'm very excited.
You're like,
about
yes,
it.
in blue and orange, right? Just so we can see you guys. The tricky thing is we might have to, it's like, we just have to be careful with like pants.
because it gets
Yeah,
caught.
you
we
don't
need,
wanna wear
we need
bell
pedal
bottoms.
pushers.
I was gonna say, we
Very
do,
Harry and Lloyd of
actually,
you.
but it's dangerous. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. Our pants are we're really good. We kind of ratchet them in.
Bell bottoms. Or,
Yeah.
We only
is it
got my
coming
pants
out?
caught once.
Okay, yeah. And have you ever seen those little things that you can slap on your ankle and they just sort of
We'll be
suck
looking
up
into
your
those
pants?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
We
Yeah.
might be able to help you out with that.
Some ankle
So-
weights.
like the
Sweat bracelets? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's been so much
Extra
fun. You guys are
workout.
doing such great work in our
Thank you.
community, and we really appreciate it. So just tell us, you guys do a lot, and it is nonprofit, so it's different. We relate to that in a way. What's your favorite part of your job?
Well,
queen.
Kristi one does give me a lot of liberty to be creative. And basically, if I say I have an idea, she says, yeah, go for it. And I've learned, again, coming from the private sector, and it's just kind of a different experience, I guess. So if I'm taking on a project, I have a lot of help. We have a lot of volunteers. We have a lot of members that are willing to help, but there's only 2 employees. And so kind of taking on these projects, I need to probably manage my time better. So maybe that is something that I need to improve on. But in terms of having this kind of free reign or free liberty on doing types of projects, that's why I applied for the Space to Place grant, and we did this mural. And again, doing a lot of these events and things and event planning at the same time, there's a lot going on this summer, but it's been such a rewarding and fulfilling experience to see the community come together to paint and be excited about this project, and really seeing just an idea come to fruition in the form of something that's going to be permanently there, that everybody, both visitors and community members and residents alike, it's just like, it's a feeling that I've never really had before in any work that I've done. So I really, really have enjoyed it.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. For me, it's the people. I have a tendency to be so focused, and my job, is a lot on my computer because I'm strategically planning and doing all these things. But I try to remember to get out on the trails. And I ride all the time for work, and I'm dashing from one place to another on a bike lane. When I get out on the trails and I've got some time to just be, and I start talking to people on the trails and I hear their stories, that is what just keeps me so passionate, because I know we're making a big difference. And people will email too, or they'll call and, just tell me how much they use the trails and how important they are to them and their happiness, their quality of life. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been great to learn more about Billings TrailNet, and just thank you for all that you do for our community. We appreciate you.
Yes, so make sure you look up Billings TrailNet and how to get involved. And then if you're around, always join AFs for Trails and Tour de Flora.
Yes.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank
you. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, community development, and workforce development. Learn more at bigsky economicdevelopment.org.